Hey guys, Sandy here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am participating in Off the Board. It is a series that we do every last Wednesday of the month, and the whole idea of it is to get on your Pinterest board, pull something off of there, and actually use it as an inspiration instead of just filling your boards with ideas. So I'm being kind of a cheater today, and I have this saved on my Pinterest board. It says, do what you love. And then somebody wrote, I love drawing butts on stuff and you're a little hiney. Now, I'm not going to draw a little hiney, but I am going to do what I love. And that is when I have 3 photos, placing them across the top of the page and embellishing around them and having like a bunch of kind of open space at the bottom. So let's see what I can do. So I go to one of my layouts that I use quite frequently when I have 3 vertical photos. I put them across the page and then I decorate them a little bit. So that's what we're going to do here today. Now I'm flipping through this washi tape book and it is gorgeous. Like this is some gorgeous washi tape. I decide that I want to use this geometric pattern one, and I am taking it and placing it on top of a white sheet of cardstock because this is a translucent washi tape. And I don't want you to be able to see behind it. I don't want you to be able to see through the washi tape. And I do have this scrap sheet of white paper. This white paper was at one time a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. As you can see, it's been used for a couple things. Doing the washi strips, doing a little bit of painting and that kind of thing. So it's all there. Now I am going to trim down that strip, and then of course I didn't cut completely to the washi strip, so I'm going to trim that down as well. And this does not go entirely across my 12 by 12 paper, so I'm going to have to cut it and expand it. And that is frustrating to me. When you get washi tape books or sticker books or anything like that, and you have these long stickers, it is super frustrating to me when they don't have like they don't stretch the whole 12 by 12. Like I shouldn't have to break apart a sticker and expand it and figure out something to go in that gap. Like I shouldn't have to do that. I was going to put stuff over top of either places where I embellished anyway because this is one of my go-to things. But I shouldn't have to if I didn't want to, and if I wanted to use it for something else, I wouldn't have been able to. So it's super frustrating. So I'm just going to cut that with my scissors and then expand it and make sure each side of the washi tape is on the flat 12 by 12 part. And I mean, look, it's not just a little bit where I could fudge it. Like that is a decent amount. There is no fudging this right here. So we're going to go ahead and eventually get it positioned just right. I am using my grid mat as kind of a guide so that my washi tape or my photos or anything like that, they really are in a straight line or a straight-ish line. They're not going to be like going up a hill or down to a valley. I do grab one more sheet of the washi tape sticker book, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm putting it on the white cardstock, and this time it's not so much as because you can see through the washi tape, but it's because I want it to give the washi tape a little bit more rigidity so that it wasn't just going to kind of flop over the photos onto the paper. I didn't want to see that line. Sometimes I'm okay with a line. Sometimes I'm like, no. This is one of those no times. So I am cutting the washi tape not in the same place because I don't want my embellishments to go in the same exact place, top to bottom, when I actually get them on the page. They are in similar, but as you can see, it's kind of on a diagonal. So if you put a ruler between those 2 gaps, you would see, look at those big old butterflies on the back of that page. Now you know that was not going to be scrapbooked with. So anyway, you do see the diagonal. If you would put a ruler between the two gaps. Now these are Love from Lizzie peel-offs, and they just add a super cute finishing touch that I'm going to add onto my washi tape. Now, if you did not have peel-offs or you didn't want to do this, this is not something that it's not something that really just makes or breaks a layout, but what it does is it just gives it a little bit extra, a little bit more of that little ding, I wish you could see me because I'm demonstrating the ting for you right now. But it's the cherry on top, okay? It's just a little bit of extra, that little bit of extra something that makes it a little bit more special. And how many times can I say little bit? Apparently a lot. So I do go ahead and place that down on both sides of the washi tapes and on the top and the bottom. And that is just because I really like the look of it. The green is a super, super good match for the pattern paper. And I just think the pattern paper is absolutely gorgeous. So anything I can do to kind of bring a heightened awareness to the pattern paper, I'm going to love. I don't feel like I really have to do that with the photos. Sometimes your photo, you might not, it's not in your face, this is what I want you to look at. But I mean, these are just big old flowers and they're pretty right there in your face. So I felt like this would be a time where I could draw attention to that gorgeous pattern paper. And I just felt that happened with those little bit of, what are these called? Love from Lizzie peel-offs. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, how I want to cover up these gaps, because I'm kind of what do I do here? I'm thinking, do I do labels? Do I keep it small? Do I go big? What am I going to do? So I'm flipping through these one Canoe 2 embellishments, and I can't tell you which collection it is. Maybe if you're more familiar with the products, you can tell me. But they came in my Love from Lizzie card kit. So, and they're not branded with the One Canoe 2 collection name, so I can't tell you what it is. Just as a side note, the Love from Lizzie card kit is a gorgeous collection of embellishments and papers and such things that you get every month. And I have never made a card with my card kit. I have been a subscriber for over 2 years now, and I scrapbook with it. It's fantastic. So now I am taking these pretty little studio banners and I am just trimming them down. Now these little banners I love. So you guys know, I am a fan of banners, and you guys know I have a hang up with how I cut them. But these little pre-printed ones are fantastic, and I felt like the colors were a good fit for the layout, so I'm just cutting them down into banner shapes. And I'm just going to have this little pile because I'm going to build some stuff with it. Whew, man, my mind is mush right now, guys. It is mushy. So I'm getting these waves of just terrible, terrible allergies. And, I'm taking allergy medication. I'm feeling pretty good. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what it is, but it comes up and it smacks you in the face and it smacks you upside the head. And then it takes you out at the knees. Like holy moly. Feeling rough. Okay. So I am using one of these stickers. And again, this is from One Canoe 2. And I chose this kind of scene sticker, and that is because this scene reminds me of the view that I have every day when I leave my house and I go to work. So it is not an exact view, but we do have mountains in the distance, and I do travel through some farmland to get to work. So it feels like it should be on this photo because it not knowing what the photos are of, that they're photos of roses, but these are roses in my backyard, and the sticker is kind of like a nod to the view I see every day. It's like personalization for my scrapbook page for me, and probably some members of my family too. They would realize that. But it's just for me. It's a little kind of like an Easter egg in there where nobody else would realize that sticker is there because it is like the view that I have in my home. Nobody would realize that except for us, and that's okay. And you know what? 20 years down the road, when we've moved from this place and we're in a different part and phase of our lives, I might look back at this and not remember. And that's okay too, because it'll still be a pretty page and it'll still be a great memory of the flowers that we had in our backyard. So I am building up this top part right here, and I do have a pretty big journaling spot here. And originally I was going to journal here, and it was not going to be the title, but ultimately the title ends up over here, and that is okay with me. I'm totally cool with it. I do put on a lot of those banners because I am a fan of the banner and I think it looks cute. The letter sticker says Great Outdoors, and I just have that hanging out over there. And then I am looking for something to kind of connect my sticker with my banners. So I go ahead and I grab this brad. It is a enamel dotted metal backed brad. And of course, I've got to flip it over and put my washi tape on the brad tines that are poking through the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this quote down here, and that is again because I have to cover up the gap in the washi tape. I'm going to layer up my banners just like I did up at the top, except for this time the banners are going to be hanging down instead of swooping off to the side. And I'm just trying to figure out where I want these banners to go, where I want the colors to overlap, and just basically figure out a good place for it. So I have my banners all connected together into one big banner cluster, I guess we're going to call that. And then I'm like, do I want to add another one? Do I add another one? I'm like, yeah, we're going to add another one because, hello, they're banners. You can keep on adding banners upon banners upon banners. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to add some more adhesive to the back of each of these things so that I can get them stuck down onto my page. And then as you can see, I do have this awkward gap where the banner is kind of poking out the side of this quote. But don't you worry, you pretty little heads, I am going to fix that. I don't remember how I fix it, even though I just created this layout, but I am going to fix it. Okay, here we go. And I fix it with a tag, except I do not treat this as a tag. I treat this as a little smaller journaling box. And as you can see, my clusters are pretty huge. Like they are pretty huge. And I feel like the reason why it's okay for them to be pretty huge is because my photos are of close-ups, and you're not really looking for detail in the photos. I mean, if you really want to get into them and look at the color variations and stuff like that, like, more power to you. But these are not detail photos where you're going to be poring over them, trying to make out things in the background. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only weirdo that does that. But when I look at other people's photo albums, I'm not just looking at what the photo is a picture of. I'm looking in the background, especially when I look at like my grandmother's photo albums, because there's so many things in the background, like photos when my mom and her siblings were growing up in the house. Like, it's different. It's my grandmother lives in that same house, but it's different. Like, the wallpaper's different, carpet's different, flooring's different, appliances are different. Like, there's just different things, and I love seeing those differences. So I'm usually the kind of person that pores over the picture. But like I said, for this one, you're not poring over the picture. Like, you're looking and saying, oh, gorgeous flowers. So I'm completely okay with the fact that my clusters, my two clusters that I'm creating, are epically huge. Totally okay with that. Now, I am creating a title with multiple fonts, and ultimately it's going to say From the Great Outdoors to the Backyard. And I know that that might not make sense to anyone, but you know what? My titles don't always make sense. Like, they make sense in my head and they're cute in my head, but you might look at them and be like, Sandy, you've lost your daggone mind. And that's okay, because they're my titles and I can do what I want with them. That's my whole Pinterest pin, right? Like, do what makes you happy. And this makes me happy, so that's what I'm doing. I do add a little, what is this thing called? Sparkly cluster asterisk type thing from the ladder stickers that I used, just because I want it to have, oh, my allergy medicine's starting to kick in. Getting sleepy. Just because I want it to have continuity between these two clusters. So I do have borders. I do have the same colors, similar feel, but I wanted to add just a little bit more continuity to get, just to have that imaginary line that's running through. Like, I wanted it to snap in place a little bit harder. I do add more washi tape on the back because, like I said, I am not a fan of my brad tines poking through. So I did add a second brad down here, and that is because I had one up at the first cluster. I'm going to go ahead and journal a little bit about how gorgeous the flowers are, and I think that that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. I don't think I do much of anything else. So why, oh yes, I'm going to add some sequins. Sequins are a great finishing touch. This sequin pack that I'm using is from Sabiko Mom Scraps, and it also came as an exclusive sequin mix for the Creative Cuts Club. So I'm just adding in these green sequins, and this is more of a Christmassy type sequin pack, but green is green and it works on spring and summertime photos anyway. So make sure that you check out everyone down below who is participating in Off the Board this month. It is a monthly series. It is the last Wednesday of every month where we use a Pinterest pin and actually get it off the board. And, you know, I'm not usually as cheeky as I am with my Pinterest pin. Like, I pull a Pinterest pin and I actually figure out some sort of interest in it. But, you know, I was feeling cheeky. So that's what you got this time. So I'm just going to finish that up, and that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again real soon for another video.